Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Nasum dust mask, model 308. I wouldn't go so far as to call this a respirator. What I'm about to say is not a review, it's not a recommendation. This is just my experience of using this, having had it for a few months. And you might be able to see from that, from the dust inside, I'll take it apart in a minute, this has been used. There's paint on it there as well. So it's not a nice and shiny thing out of the box. This is proper, yeah, I've used it and here's my experience of it. Before we get into actually the mask, what I wanted to say was, well, why did I buy it? Well, when I do a lot of DIY and stuff like that, and I do a lot of sanding and dusting, I use things like this. And they're very expensive, you know. You use them once, you throw them away, and it just kind of goes into landfill. And not only that, at the moment, or when I went and bought the Nasum thing, there was a lot of problems, people getting PPE and all the rest of it, and it seemed unfair, even if I could find these, to go out and keep buying them when perhaps other people really needed them for other reasons, maybe for health reasons. So that's why I looked around, and I looked around on Amazon, and it's usually a place to go, isn't it? You know, it's nice and easy. You press a button, the next thing you know, there's a bing bong at the door and an item arrives, and it's generally a bit cheaper as well. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, that's fantastic. What I can do is reuse the main face piece, and then there's replacements for the filters. So I thought, that's all very good. So I went and got this. Came in this box. I'll tell you what you get. You get some instructions. That was the bag the other came in. You get some goggles, which I've not used because they're pretty much garbage. I mean, they are goggles and they will kind of work, but you know, yeah, anyway, moving on. And you also get a pair of earplugs, which is fair enough. And that's pretty much it. A few instructions there. I won't go into them, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, anyway, get rid of that. Let's get on to the main point of this video. The reason I got this is because it had replaceable filters. Now, to be fair to it, these do come off and they look quite impressive. That's the main mask unit. I've got no issues with that at all. It fits well on the face. What I did to start with, I adjusted that for the neck, and then once it's over me neck, I just then pull the strap over me face, and I get a good snug fit. And yeah, I'm quite impressed with that piece. It's absolutely fine. Then we come down to these filters. Now, all it is a plastic on the back, plastic on the front. It unscrews. By the way, there's like over 600 reviews on this with happy people, like 5-star reviews on Amazon. That was one of the reasons why it kind of swayed me to kind of go ahead and buy this. So you take that off. Well, it doesn't even need to screw. You can just pop that in. So there's no good thread with it at all. It just, yeah. Okay, well, that's fair enough. I get that. And then you move on to the filter. And there's a little plastic ring around the filter. So you just pick that out with your finger. It's a very thin ring. You're down to the filter itself. And I'll show you the back of the filter there. Okay, so all it is a container to hold the filter. Oh, you can see I've actually got some dust in there as well. So that's fair enough. It's they do their job. I've got no issues with that. The fact they do filter out like the harsh particles. of like dust and, you know, wood dust and a bit of plaster dust, and that's absolutely fine. However, in the box, you only get a few of these filters and you can't get replacements. So in theory, once you've used these filters up and they're gone, well, then you have to kind of either find some kind of substitute from this, as in a filtration system, or you've got to throw the whole lot away. And the whole point in the first place of me trying to get something like that was to not keep throwing loads of stuff into landfill. So where are we with this? I don't know what the rating of filter is. It's just like a soft cotton pad inside. Actually, I'll rip it open for you. It's a used one. So you've got an outer layer there, an inner layer, and you got some pretty much like some cotton material. It's nothing special, it's just a little barrier. What I thought was I could perhaps make my own filters out of a HEPA bag. It's a vacuum cleaner bag and it's like a HEPA filter, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. So I used one of these as a template and kind of made my own. These are designed to filter air. For a vacuum cleaner, they work very well. So I made some of these. And I just use 1/2 of the bag. Alright, don't double it up. And I shoved it in. Shoved the ring on. Put the top on. And they work pretty much as well as what these filters do. Now, this is a strong warning to all of you out there who might be thinking of making their own filters in something like this. All right, if you get this wrong and you block out too much oxygen and you've got these attached, in effect you're going to cut your oxygen off and it's not going to end well. All right, so don't go blaming me if you decide to do something like this and it all goes wrong, because like you've got to be very careful about what you're doing. Okay, don't go getting all kinds of materials and shoving them in there. You just be really careful if you do decide to go down that route. Okay, so it's on you whatever you decide to do. So that's basically it. The mask itself is okay. Filters are okay. Now, what rating these are? You know, you've got your PPF 1, 2, 3. I'd say that was between a 1 and maybe a 2. That's my own guesstimation, because you don't get any proper kind of idea of what they are. So caution is the word I would use for these. The moral of the story today is think carefully before you buy. You know, there's probably hundreds of millions of these in the world that have been thrown away and go into landfill, and it's not very environmentally friendly. However, my idea of using one of these vacuum cleaner bags, because they got the HEPA filter in to cut up a bit, I still don't know if it's a great idea or not, but for me it's kind of worked when I've used it, as opposed to these that you get and you can't replace. As I say, if you do decide to do anything like that, just be like super careful, and also don't think anything like this is going to be can be used for anything other than a little bit of dust. All right, So if you've got any other ideas about, oh, it'll protect me from this or that, or just get them out your head, really. If you got some wood dust, maybe some plaster dust, yeah, it'll kind of work. So I'd be interested to know, you know, what's your thoughts on this? About, have you tried making your own filters? Have you got any ideas? It'd just be nice to share with everybody, really. In hindsight, I guess maybe I shouldn't have bought the cheap Chinese and tried to save a couple of quid. I probably should have bought 3M or something like that with quality filters. But the filters are expensive. There's probably good reason for that. So that's pretty much all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. Like I say, let me know your thoughts on all this. I'd be interested to know and share with everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you next time.